Hello everyone, Maurice here. Today I bring you another meta report for Axie Infinity Origins, now Season 9, the early epic era. So we get into July already, and yeah, I was thinking Turnip might not be, make it in the epic era, but no, I was definitely wrong, so at least so far. Right, where Turnip is still the number one archetype at the very top. But we do see, Fury Aggro, another kind of one that's I didn't really think it would be that strong as well, just because it was nerfed, but it is still pretty strong. So yeah, Turnip, Fury Aggro, those are the two main ones I would say. And then I would say the other one that's looking quite promising would be the pure damage, like Sturdy Fighter kind of thing. So it's somehow I think with the steel package as well, and it's just doing quite well I think in this kind of meta. Of course, there's also poison feathers still around at the close to the top as well, and as probably the most they are the most popular as well. So those are definitely will still be around. You can see it's close to getting to 85,000 players for this season already. And it's quite interesting that quite a lot of players are kind of shifting up in terms of their victory star points. So you can see that there's actually more people in boar and hare and yeah, that kind of thing as opposed to just chick and egg, which is usually what we see. But in terms of tigers, similar numbers. And actually, yeah, more than 1,600 people at Challenger. So yeah, I think that's basically the number so far, and I feel like we might get to 100K at some point in the season. Well, we'll see. Yeah. Okay. So in terms of archetype usage, then this is what it is. So yeah, you can see the red is the turnip, and then you can see Fury Aggro, right? Actually getting to the top as well. Um, yeah, the only interesting one I would say is actually the pure demonstratory fighter. You can see the poison feather is still around. Jinx is actually doing not bad as well. So I think that's basically the summary, really. Okay, so let's look into the archetype win rates, and this is where we can see um, that of course turnips there at the very top, but you can see that poison, feather, Furiago, Jinx, those are actually doing pretty well as well as a pure damage sorry fighter. So I would say those five are the ones that have the potential other than turnip really. Whereas I would say anemone, perch is not doing the best. Sponge also, I think those are dropping. I think the only ones that are kind of just gonna maybe stay there is like Triple R. Interestingly, there's a Stain and also Sandal that might be able to hang on, but definitely not as good as the top six archetypes, I would say. Okay, so in terms of archetype matchup, so you can see Turnip actually they definitely has weaknesses. So Fury Aggro is definitely one. So Fury Aggro can go pretty fast. And Sustain, yeah, which is not too popular, but it's also pretty strong against Turnip. And then I would say the other one is actually like the Sponge and Perch. Those are I would say the combo teams. Yeah, and last season as we see Perch doing quite well. This season, of course, it is nerfed quite a bit, but still, I think it is still quite viable in that sense. Yeah, Jinx is the only one that's really giving Perch quite a lot of trouble. Of course, Fury Aggro also, just because that can be pretty fast. But actually, yeah, you can see it's still not bad in terms of the overall win rate. Of course, this is like everyone above 1,600 victory star. So of course that includes basically like what 3,000 people. So it's quite a general trend. If you're talking about optimized team, then of course there's different stories, and do check out the these win rates at the bottom here. Yeah, for the different brackets in the blog post. Okay, so I'll leave it in the blog post. Okay, and the other thing I do want to talk about is Fury Aggro, of course, right? Is that yeah, it's suffers against feather. I think that's really the main thing. Yeah, other than that, yeah, Sandal is also giving Firago a bit of trouble. But other than that, it's actually okay. Of course, Eggshell Mavis has traditionally been giving trouble, Firago some trouble, but it's not very popular this season. Yeah, okay. And then I do want to talk about the pure damage fighter as well, because it is looking pretty promising. Jinx is the pretty much the only one giving it significant trouble. So you can see actually that's why like Jinx is actually one that is actually doing quite well. The tough one, of course, like Jinx is always against poison. So poison,
Of course, every turn just deal damage without the cards, right? Because it's just the poisons. Yeah, so that's the main thing that holding Jinx back. But that's why I feel like Jinx actually is probably quite a good position for this era, I would say. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so I guess one thing I didn't really mention is about turnip and snake jar. So, of course, a lot of turnip teams run snake jar as well. And actually, one thing that's interesting is that the kind of the pure damage story fighter also runs snake jar. So like those this kind of value teams typically doesn't really do too well in Origins. It's because they tend to be quite slow. But yeah, somehow this season is just getting there. Maybe it's just getting more optimized, and yeah, people are just paying more attention, and also it's just somehow being more successful. So yeah, I think of course, like there are still combo teams that will give those values teams troubles, like especially the slower teams. I'll call it, let's say, pure damage certified, they're more like a mid-range kind of team, right, with a shield and also actually with the new steel cunning kind of synergy as well. So slightly slower. There's some ramp, not ramp, but like some time to ramp up in terms of damage, that kind of thing. But yeah, I do feel like those are definitely, I would say, more interesting to play compared to just aggro. But like different people like different teams. But I think it's good to see different type of teams, like value oriented versus like more mid range. Of course, Fury aggro versus aggro. Really, yeah, different teams are finding success. So um, of course, like I would say, it's still not quite happy in terms of like seeing only a few archetypes that are successful. And the unfortunate part is also that we've seen these archetypes quite a bit as well. Meaning, like not just this season, but the past 2, 3 seasons are similar archetypes. Whereas other archetypes like Topaz is not even on here. Like Leafy, Spikes, those are not really don't really get much love. And even like Goo, which last season was maybe getting there, but not really. And then now it's not even here as well. So yeah, I do hope to see that get more support for those archetypes and maybe even tone down some of the other archetypes so that maybe next season you do get a bit of a switch, right? So you see different archetypes being stronger than others in different seasons rather than just the same archetypes again. So that's what's my opinion. So okay, all right, I think that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.